This man is really impressive. Despite the fact that 5 beautiful girls have had a crush on him since the beginning of the school year, he has remained single for 2.5 years. Among the 5, the girl with glasses has a strong admiration for the male lead. Even though the male lead knows about her breathtaking beauty behind those 3-color lens glasses, he doesn't rush to make a choice because he has too many options, including the playful girl Yeonmu he meets at work, and his childhood friend Hina Aoi. Hina Aoi goes to great lengths to win the male lead's affection, even giving up her most important training for a competition. Although she claims to have just happened to pass by, the male lead sees through her lie. He deliberately distances himself from Hina Aoi, pushing her to focus on the competition. However, she nonchalantly changes the topic to a dirty book he has in his possession, making him uncomfortable. The male lead quickly comes up with an excuse to divert the conversation. Hao Xiankui is puzzled by the male lead's behavior. He pretends that it's not a big deal, but he treasures the book as if it's a precious item. When Hao Xiankui insists on questioning him, the male lead gives in with some sweet words to avoid further trouble. This book was lent to the male lead by Sansjing, who gave it to him while he was working. Sansjing didn't want the male lead to repay the book, but rather wanted him to spend more time with her because their time together had been decreasing since he started working, and his relationship with Yeonmu had become closer. What's more frustrating is that Yeonmu pretends to console Sansjing. Perhaps fate couldn't bear to see the male lead receive so much attention, so one night while he was working, he accidentally spilled an unknown liquid on a customer. This middle-aged man refused to let him off the hook and seemed ready to devour him. Suddenly, Yeonmu stepped in to help the male lead, offering to pay for the man's new clothes to defuse the situation. On the way home, the male lead was very frustrated about what happened at work. He didn't expect Sansjing to have been waiting for him for a long time. Sansjing knew that he had been scolded badly that day, but she still spoke her mind, revealing the real reason behind the male lead's insistence on working. It turns out that everyone around him has their own goals and ambitions, and compared to them, the male lead feels completely ordinary. His job and the book were just excuses to deceive himself. Sansjing's words struck a chord deep within the male lead, but he didn't know what to do because he felt he had nothing to offer. Later on, during the national tennis competition, the male lead finally starts making progress thanks to his hard work. He decides to continue working to repay his debt to Sansjing and not just for his own satisfaction. Seeing the male lead's growth, Sansjing is pleased, and they reconcile. With his persistent efforts, the male lead finally earns a substantial reward. When he wants to buy a book, Hao Xiankui expresses his desire to meet him. Because the male lead is eager to buy the book, he declines Hao Xiankui's invitation, but then he learns that the book has just been sold to someone else. Feeling disappointed, the male lead walks down the street, and suddenly Hao Xiankui appears in his line of sight, presenting him with the exact book he wanted. The male lead is surprised and touched by this gesture. However, instead of being happy, he receives a stern scolding from Hao Xiankui. Hao Xiankui is upset because he spent time and money on the male lead, prioritizing his happiness over the national competition. The male lead's harsh words make Hao Xiankui cry, and he realizes he was being ungrateful. He agrees to follow the male lead's advice and pursue his dream. Seeing Hao Xiankui's change, the male lead is relieved, and they make amends. After all, the bond of childhood friends is not something he can easily give up. At the upcoming national tennis competition, the male lead leads a group of girls to support Hao Xiankui, and the tennis racket he holds is a gift from the male lead. Suddenly, Hao Xiankui asks the male lead if he likes someone, and his answer surprises everyone. In a surprising turn of events, Hao Xiankui kisses him in front of everyone, causing a shockwave among the group. The male lead thought he had enough with the 5 brides in the quintuplet situation until a chance encounter with a blonde girl on a bench changed everything.